Okay, ready for a deep dive into AI? We're talking transparency and privacy, the kind of stuff that makes you wonder who's really in control, you know?
It's kind of wild when you think about it. AI used to be pure science fiction, but now it's everywhere.
Right, it's like it's woven into our lives, and that's why we're cracking open Rodney Puplampu's book, What Everyone Should Know About the Rise of AI, for this deep dive. He's got this idea, the AI Transparency and Privacy API. Catchy, huh?
Yeah, it's a mouthful, but stay with me. Imagine you're just scrolling, total mindless scrolling, and then bam, an ad for, like, seaweed crackers.
Seaweed crackers. Seriously. I know, right? Totally random. But here's where the API comes in. It lets you see why that ad's on your screen. Like, what data did the AI use? Your search history, your location. Did it see you eating sushi last week? It's about pulling back the curtain on these algorithms. Okay, I'm starting to see why this matters. But some people might say, who cares? As long as it works, right? Why should we care how the AI sausage is made?
It's not just about the sausage. It's about who's controlling the recipe. Without transparency, we're letting algorithms we don't understand make decisions that impact our lives, loan approvals, what news we see, maybe even jobs we get offered. It's kind of creepy.
So you're saying we need to know why these algorithms do what they do. But how do you balance transparency with privacy, especially with all the deepfake stuff going around?
You're asking the right questions. It's tricky, for sure. And Puplampu uses this really interesting analogy in the book. He compares AI development to building the old London Bridge.
Okay, hold up. London Bridge. Help me connect the dots here.
Well, back in the 12th century, when they built that bridge, it was a big deal, state of the art. But, get this, they let people build shops and houses right on it.
Wait, what? On the bridge itself?
Yep. And over time, all that extra stuff narrowed the river. More water flowing through a smaller space. Disaster waiting to happen, erosion, damage, ended up costing a fortune to fix.
So the takeaway is, don't build our AI future on shaky foundations, right? We don't want a digital London Bridge collapsing on us.
Exactly. Puplampu says we're so busy being dazzled by what AI can do that we're not thinking about the long game. Like, are we creating problems we don't even see yet?
It's scary to think we could end up in some dystopian future just because we didn't think about how to build AI responsibly.
Yeah, and it's not just about hypothetical dystopias either. Puplampu gets into some real-world issues. Like, he talks about AI and surveillance.
Okay, nobody wants to live in a world where Big Brother's always watching.
Right. It's like something out of 1984. And, there are people trying to address this. Puplampu mentions the Gladstone AI Action Plan.
So they're trying to set up some rules for AI. That sounds like a step in the right direction.
In theory, sure. But Puplampu's not convinced. He says it's kind of like trying to fix a smartphone with a rusty screwdriver.
What do you mean?
He's saying those Gladstone folks are using old methods for a problem that's changing so fast. They're stuck in 20th century thinking, and AI is already in the 21st.
So we need a totally new playbook. But how do you even begin to regulate something that's constantly evolving?
That's the million-dollar question. It's a huge challenge, no doubt. Puplampu stresses how important transparency is, especially when algorithms start making big decisions. He talks about this thing called the COMPAS algorithm.
COMPAS? That doesn't ring any bells.
It stands for Correctional Offender Management Profiling for Alternative Sanctions. It's a tool they use in court sometimes.
Okay, what does it do?
Basically, it tries to predict if someone who's been convicted of a crime is likely to reoffend.
So they use it to help decide on things like sentencing.
Yeah, the idea is to use data to make the system fairer, but it's not as simple as that.
What's the catch?
Well, studies have shown that COMPAS might actually be biased against certain groups of people.
You're kidding? How is that even possible?
It turns out AI can inherit our biases. Even when we're trying to make things fairer, our prejudices can get baked into the algorithms. It's a huge problem.
So even with the best intentions, things can still go wrong.
And that's exactly why transparency is so important. We've got to be able to look under the hood and see what these algorithms are doing, how they're making decisions.
We can't just trust blindly. We need to be able to verify what's going on.
Exactly. And that brings up a bigger question. Can AI ever truly be ethical?
That's a tough one. Can we really program ethics into machines?
It's a huge question, and Puplampu dives right into it. He makes this point that we need to think about what it means to be human in this world that's increasingly shaped by AI. He talks about something he calls the region beta paradox.
Region beta paradox. Okay, you're going to have to explain that one.
So think about it this way. Have you ever noticed that sometimes a little setback, like a flat tire, can totally throw you off? But then a bigger problem comes along, something major, and you kind of roll with it.
Yeah, I guess so. It's like you kick into survival mode or something.
Right. And that's the paradox. We think we want things to be easy, but Puplampu argues that challenges actually force us to adapt, to learn, to grow.
Okay, so how does AI fit into this whole region beta thing?
Well, imagine if AI makes everything so seamless, so easy, that we never really encounter those challenges, those moments of friction that force us to level up as humans.
I see what you mean. It's like we're trading resilience for comfort.
Exactly. And that's where AI ethics comes into play. We need to make sure we're using AI to empower ourselves, not to create a world where we're just passively consuming and becoming, well, less capable.
It's about finding that balance, right, between leveraging technology and preserving what makes us human.
Absolutely. And that's the conversation we need to be having now. Puplampu talks about organizations like the Algorithmic Justice League, the Partnership on AI. They're working on ethical guidelines for AI, trying to get ahead of the curve.
So people are thinking about this stuff, trying to make sure AI is used for good. But even if we agree on the ethics, how do you actually put those principles into practice?
It's a big question, and there's no easy answer. But Puplampu does offer some potential solutions. One thing he talks about is using blockchain technology to keep track of data and AI decisions.
Blockchain.
Yeah.
Like for cryptocurrency.
Yeah, exactly. But in this case, it's about transparency and accountability. So with blockchain, you'd have this tamper-proof record of everything an AI does, all the data it uses.
So it's like an audit trail, but for AI.
Right, and that makes it much harder to hide bias or manipulate the system. It's about building trust.
It's making me realize that maybe the key isn't to be afraid of AI, but to be informed and engaged.
Yeah.
We can't just be passive consumers of technology. We need to shape how it develops.
100%. And that's what Puplampu emphasizes throughout the book. He doesn't just focus on the negative stuff. He talks about AI's potential to help us solve big problems, like in healthcare, education, climate change.
So there's hope for a future where AI is a force for good.
Absolutely. Imagine personalized AI assistants like having Morgan Freeman narrate your day or Snoop Dogg curate your workout playlist.
Now that's what I call an upgrade.
Right, but it goes deeper than that. Puplampu's point is AI can be a tool for progress, for empowerment, but it's up to us to make sure it's used that way.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the message is clear. AI is here to stay, and it's changing everything. It's up to all of us to understand the issues, to ask the tough questions, and to demand transparency, because ultimately the future of AI isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we create together. So what kind of future do you want to see?